This story is about when I was working at my last company, and we were having trouble hiring people. Google and Facebook were in town, and they had chefs on staff and so on, and we were a traditional finance company with a beige interior, cubicles, nothing, like my colleagues didn't want to spend any money to attract, or try to make that office hip enough to attract really good talent. So I decided it was a good idea to try to go teach at a local university in their master's program, and then spend essentially a whole semester with candidates. And the best students I would develop a relationship with, and then hopefully convince them to hire to join my company. So a master's of financial engineering isn't the most riveting topic. So my wife and I enjoyed going to comedy clubs in New York. And so one night we were at Caroline's, and I saw a flyer saying that courses in comedy school. So I said, wow, what a great way to liven up financial engineering. I'll go learn how to be a comedian. So I signed up for this course, and I'm working a ton, and I block off some time so I can go to the class, and I barely make it there. First day of class, I'm the last person into a comedy class. So there's only one open seat, it's front and center of the room, and of course the teacher of the class is a professional comedian, so starts by taking it out for me being late. So then I sit down and everybody's like getting to know each other, and I look to my left and the person's like, oh, I used to write for Rosie O'Donnell. And then the person to my right is like, I was an Upright Citizens Brigade. And so everybody's giving these like legit comedy credentials, and they're like, well, what's your background? I'm like, I want to teach math. And so they were kind of confused as to what I was doing there. So I persisted. Every time I would go up in front of the class, the same thing would happen. I would try to think of my joke. Nothing would come together. I didn't know how to make math funny. I didn't know how to make finance funny. I had no material. So the teacher said, much like Tim says, talk about something you know. And so at the time, I was like, all right, what do I know? My parents are crazy. That's got to be a good mine for comedians. That classically has been a good source. So my mom calls me that week, and my dad had just gotten out of the hospital. He actually had recovered successfully from cancer, but he was a little bit of a hypochondriac after going through that whole experience. And so he went to the doctor. The doctor said, everything's fine, you're good. And he's like, no, there's got to be something wrong with me. The doctor said, just don't eat too much. You're gaining a little bit of weight, so don't eat so much. So my mom calls me up all bewildered because she's found cookies hidden out all over the house. And apparently my dad is like now obsessed with like his weight, but he responds to it by eating a lot of cookies. So he'll put on some weight or have a problem to deal with. So my mom confronts him, and she's like, well, you're hiding cookies all over the house. And my dad responds, it must be the kids. Okay, there hasn't been anybody in the house in at least 15 years. So that didn't work with my mom, but I thought maybe I could turn this into a joke. So I like spend a week in between all the work stuff trying to put together some material for a joke. And I think I might actually have a joke this time that doesn't involve math or finance. So I write up the joke, I'm all prepared to deliver it. The teacher calls my name. I'm really excited to give this joke because I think it might be funny. I walk up, and again, everything, like the light just goes into a tunnel. I have no idea what I'm talking about. She gives me the mic. You're standing there with a mic. And the only things that come out of my mouth are, my dad has cancer. So the room completely silent. And my teacher is looking at me like I am the worst student she's ever had. And in fact, I think I was the worst student she's ever had, because she came up to me and then she tells the student as if I'm a cautionary tale. She's like, never make jokes about cancer or rape.